What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is up 2.15%, 205 the low, 216 the high. Market's closing in roughly 1 hour, but today has been quite the volatile day. All starting off with this. So non-farm payroll came in at 151 versus 150 the forecast. So kind of good for that. Unemployment 4.1 the actual, and then 4% was the forecast. So that one, the market was reacting in somewhat of a negative way associated to that, but Lucid's been somewhat doing its own thing today, and that's because of analyst ratings. So I'll kind of talk on that throughout the video, but today there wasn't any actual news from Lucid itself, no SEC filings, so it's been kind of just piggybacking off the broader market, which in reality, what gave Lucid a nice push higher away from the market freaking out over unemployment was this right here. So for the first time, Powell actually calmed the market. So he stated that the economy is fine and that because of that, there isn't any reason to cut rates. So in reality, that's kind of a good thing. I know a lot of people really want rate cuts. It's good for a lot of growth stocks, good for the whole EV sector. But at the end of the day, if the economy is fine, the data points are good, then yeah, there's no real reason to cut rates. So I think he really saved the broader market. In conjunction around that time period as well, you did have Putin also stating that he is open to peace. So there might be some big updates coming from that for the first time in, 3 years or 2 years, whenever that started. So that should be fairly good for the broader market. So those two things are kind of pushing Lucid and again, the broader market higher. But Lucid, oddly enough, did have 3 ratings. So these two do show as yesterday, but they came out after hours yesterday. But you did have a buy rating. Benchmark Michael, who has a 38% success rating, so not all that great, but gave a $5 price target. So he did list some negatives. So he kind of mentioned the execution. So Lucid really does need to just kick ass and get the damn job done finally. And then analysts might become a little bit more optimistic. But Michael was bullish on the new management. So that's kind of a good positive. You did also have 2 new ones. So $2.30 initiated coverage, TD Cowen. That came out, again, it shows as yesterday, but came out after hours today. And they did state that they feel like the Gravity, based on the price point, won't hit the marks, won't hit the demand. And I think Lucid's overhyping it. So in my opinion, I think that's complete BS and a little bit premature to kind of start talking about that, about demand on the Gravity not being fulfilled. But you also at the same time did have a sell $1 price target, CFRA, Garrett, who has a 57% success rating. And what I've been trying to think about is, why did 3 new ratings come out all at the same time for the most part, when nothing fundamentally has changed for Lucid? Because Lucid has been rather quiet ever since their earnings, and it is a little bit late for them to give a rating kind of judging the earnings. So kind of weird, but I don't think a lot of people are complaining. So I think that $5 one did cause this nice push higher right here, kind of defying the broader market. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. Aside from that, you've just seen a lot of bearish articles coming out. One was this right here. So exclusive, PIF linked chairman fired Lucid's CEO, appointed controversial interim. And so a lot of individuals are wondering if this is credible. And I cover NIO under another YouTube channel. So this Claudio guy, even though he kind of sounds like far-fetched, he does seem to have a lot of big connections. So I think the validity of this might be kind of on point. And the reason why some people are not wanting this to be true is because it kind of states right here, 2 familiar sources with the matter told EV on Thursday that Lucid's chair of the board, Turk, if I'm going to butcher their name, but has forced out Rawlinson and selected Wintroff as interim chief. So kind of Peter got forced out, as I've been stating, like unofficially fired. So yeah, kind of crazy. But as far as, like I said, this individual, I think he is somewhat credible. But at this stage in the game, I think it's just now Peter is a good memory. He built what Lucid has been kind of at this stage, and now Mark and the other management team is going to kind of push it higher from here. But aside from that, though, shorts right now, they're increasing 833,000 shares. 25% of the free float's being shorted. Works out to be 303.05 million shares overall are being shorted. And looking at the options, so 557,000 in calls, 453,000 in puts. 59% of all the options being done today were optimistic in nature, and a couple of big ones right here. So clearly big money is getting in based on that. But overall, the dollar value kind of low, and it's been kind of low for the last several trading days. So today's like 1 hour left in the trading day, or 50 minutes, so most likely we'll end at like 1.1 most likely. Yesterday 994,000, day prior was 712, so not all that great. But these are the call options that were purchased, so consensus for it to be above 250 for next week. And then you have pockets, so March 21st, so that's a monthly chain, you have a consensus for it to be above $5. So kind of crazy. I think that's coinciding with maybe Lucid's big update that might be coming as what they've announced. So something to kind of keep in mind. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub $2. And then of course, with today being Friday, this is the open interest. So for whatever reason, if Lucid's able to get above, let's say 250 next week, you'll have 10,000 in open interest. But I think it's kind of a write-off for this week. So you have 2,000 at that too. So not really anything crazy. You won't see any spikes come Monday because of that. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So you're not really seeing big money buy Lucid up right now. It is largely the recovery, I think, linked to just the dark pool transactions as well as algorithmic trading. So algos are kind of going crazy this whole week, not just today, because like almost every hour there's something coming out that is going to really disrupt and move things around. And today, oddly enough, I thought we were going to be like the only day to not talk about tariffs, but unfortunately there was a comment stated this morning about Trump stating, or kind of mentioning, that there might be increases to tariffs in the foreseeable future, but no context was really given on who, whether it be China, Canada, Mexico, some other country, I'm not really sure. But yeah, tariffs are definitely a hot topic. With it right now at 215, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 206 we know is a very strong support. It's been tested over the last couple of trading days and has held up. So always a good thing to definitely see that. On the actual chart itself, so with today's recovery, it is slightly above, it looks like, that ALMA. So right here, I'll kind of zoom in a little bit. So it is right now above the ALMA, but aside from that, it is definitely a big gap to be filled. So as I've mentioned, if you believe in the gap needs to be filled kind of mentality, then yeah, I could get to like that 260 again. Stochastic RSI is very oversold, so a good piece of news associated to Lucid, then you could see a nice push higher. So let me know your general thoughts on Lucid. Did you buy the dip? Did you sell? What have you been doing with Lucid? I myself haven't done all that much. I bought in a couple times like post earnings, but I guess given all this crazy price action, it's hard to kind of call the bottom on Lucid. It's just sometimes no rhyme or reason, goes up with no notice, goes down with no notice, and shorts just seem to do whatever the hell they want. So even though Lucid and the broader market kind of show signs of a recovery, they are still increasing. So for the week, I think they've increased like almost like, was it 50 million shares? Absolutely crazy stuff. So let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point, especially when it comes down to calling companies' earnings and where it might be going this whole week. Exactly on point. So definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.